Butler being chased by Perkins. Oh, what a play by Kemp, snatching it out of the air.
Watch this block by Shawn Kemp. Mitchell Butler, who's a great jumper in his own right, just can't go up over Shawn.
Ball rebounded, tapped away, McMillan to McKee. Up to Gary Payton. Lead pass to Kemp. He'll slam down. What a lob! Whoa! Gary Payton with a lob ahead to Kemp. He went airborne, defied gravity. Laid it down with two hands, baby. Foul on the play. He will go to the
What it look like TV. We are back on this one. We're gonna look at the situation going on with Shawn Kemp right now out in Seattle. He just opened up two dispensaries. They're doing well. They were the two first black-owned dispensaries in the state. And if you don't know who Shawn Kemp was, you're gonna have to Google him, go to YouTube, look at some of his highlights. The guy was phenomenal back in the day. He was one of the high flyers along with Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and all the other guys that played the game above the rim. Him and Gary Payton didn't win any championships, but they were an exciting team and they were a tough team. But anyway, this case right here is very interesting. We're going to look at the news reports, then we're going to come back and we're going to see what we can learn from all this. But let's see what's going on over here.
He was a superstar athlete known for high-flying dunks. Then, as we first reported as breaking news on Fox 13 Wednesday night, Shawn Kemp was arrested accused of a drive-by shooting. Thank you for joining us for the News at 5. I'm Hannah Kim.
And I'm David Rose.
And if you ask me, they worded that terribly. It wasn't a drive-by shooting by him. He was arrested in the drive-by shooting. The person was shooting at him from a vehicle. He was stationary. See, the way they're wording a lot of this out there and the way they're putting it out there like he was arrested, like he did something wrong, I do have a problem with the way they are portraying this in the media. But let's continue on, y'all.
24 hours later, he left the jail in Tacoma a free man. No charges filed. It's unclear if he even committed any crime.
Yeah,
so they're still investigating.
Our
team has been working to talk with Kemp, his attorney, and investigators.
Matthew Smith is live outside the Tacoma jail for us, where Kemp was released sometime this afternoon, Matthew.
Yeah, so it seems that he is not facing charges at this time, but that doesn't mean that he won't, because the prosecuting attorney's office did tell Fox 13 that they will continue an investigation with the Tacoma Police Department.
He's not facing any charges,
man. And after Shawn Kemp's release, but we didn't see him, meaning at some point in time, he slipped out.
The guy in the red vest needs to be detained in handcuffs.
In audio first obtained by TMZ Sports, you hear police making the call to detain who we now know is Shawn Kemp. Investigators initially reporting that he took part in a drive-by.
He had a black pistol and fired 5 to 10 shots at the subject in the 4Runner.
That description over an encrypted dispatch channel seems to have been talking about Kemp, though his attorney says Kemp was returning fire in an act of self-defense, telling Fox 13 via written statement that Kemp's vehicle had been broken into Tuesday, and he had tracked it to this parking lot where we see Kemp, adding, quote, "When Mr. Kemp approached the vehicle in an attempt to retrieve his stolen property, individuals inside the vehicle shot at Mr. Kemp, who then returned fire in self-defense. There was not a drive-by shooting as previously reported, and Mr. Kemp's actions were reasonable and legally justified," end quote.
Now, before we go any further, I want y'all to remember that. Store that in the memory banks. How this whole situation happened was he had the tracker phone activated on his phone, and he tracked his property down, and he went to go get his property back. And this is the results of that. So we're going to continue to move on, but that is very important. This whole situation is because he used his self-tracking and he tracked his property down. Let's continue.
No, police talked about that tracked phone over the airwaves.
He's tracking his phone over by Chipotle.
As for today, Kemp appears to have woken up inside the jail, initially taken in on that drive-by shooting charge. Our crew was on the ground while he was released, from what we understand, but aside from a few vehicles coming and going with tinted windows, there was never any indication Kemp had left. Now, it goes without saying that this shooting is drawing a lot of extra attention just because of who Shawn Kemp is and his standing here in the community. The one-time superstar athlete, you could argue, is one of the most notable supersonics of all time.
That's Gary Payton standing next to him.
He helped lift the Sonics to a 1996 NBA.
Yo, that's beautiful to me, man. That's beautiful to me. Them two guys, let me see if I could back it up a little bit more. Them two guys, man. Them two guys right there. They didn't win a championship. They played some good basketball together. And to see them still being friends and doing positive things in the community 20 years after their career is a good feeling. So salute to you, Shawn Kemp. Salute to you, Gary Payton. But let's move on.
1996 NBA Finals appearance and was a multiple-time All-Star. More recently, though, he's become a weed connoisseur, a part owner in 2 different Seattle-based pot shops. As for what comes next, that is a little bit harder to say. Now, the prosecuting attorney...
2 Seattle-based marijuana dispensaries. They are not pot shops when they are owned by a black man. I'm sorry to see it's a lot of BS going on with this Seattle media. Seattle, y'all need to get y'all act together, because I've been trying to, cover this fair and straight down the line, but y'all have been disrespecting this man every step of the way. Y'all throw him in jail. For the past 24 to 36 hours, it's been this Shawn Kemp arrested in drive-by, inflating the charges and inflating the situation. He gets out, y'all not sitting here talking this not guilty stuff. It could be a possibility, even though you know the man is innocent. Now you're calling his dispensaries pot shops. Come on, man, let's cut it out. Can we cut it out? Can we cut it out, Seattle? This ain't a good look, man. Y'all looking a little crazy out here.
Did indicate that Tacoma PD will continue this investigation despite the fact that charges have not been filed at this time. And Kemp's attorney did say that a criminal defense attorney has been hired if he were to need one. We're live in Tacoma. Matthew Smith.
See what I mean? The man hasn't been charged with anything. It has been found out in the past 24 hours that it's a big misunderstanding that he's the victim. But they start the article with, well, he's not guilty now, but they're still investigating, and they end it with the same tone instead of just giving the man respect. He was the victim of a crime. He may have went about getting his stuff back, but he was a victim of the crime. So why are y'all, it's damn near like y'all are wishing charges. Y'all keep bringing up these possible charges. Possible, he hasn't been charged, but it's possible. It's possible. He got extra lawyers. It's possible. Cut it out. But I say all that to say this. When you got your tracking services activated on your items and your stuff, be careful if you go about tracking them down. Realize that if 9 times out of 10, whoever got your stuff, they a thief, they a criminal, they might be willing to go to the lengths that this guy went through over a cell phone. And I'm pretty sure if Shawn Kemp had it all to do it over again, he would just spend the extra couple dollars and get another cell phone instead of having to spend it on lawyer fees and have his name dragged through the mud by the media for no damn reason. So y'all keep that in mind when y'all moving and shaking and y'all operating out here in the real world. And on that note, this is what it looked like TV. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button yet, please do that for me. Help me out. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, trying to get these watch hours up, trying to progress and move forward in this thing called YouTube. If you made it to this point, you are my MVP.
It was a stone groove, my man.
And I'm out of here.
Poked away by out ahead to Kemp. Kemp will run across midcourt, dribbles by Johnson to the gut.
To McKee, up to Gary Payton, lead pass to Kemp, he'll slam down!
Jordan comes out of the blocks on fire. Oh! Kemp on the high post against Purvis Ellison, gets him off his feet and goes